Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look, basically, to be honest, with the artificial life forms and essentially taking on the Beast Gohan fight. Now I'm going to be entirely honest with you. Beast Gohan, basically like a pretty solid type of stage. I think the final stage, I don't find this as hard as Gogeta, at least from like a missions difficulty standpoint. However, it is definitely, still quite challenging. But yeah, I gotta be honest, I do think, like, overall, looking at this event, I think there are some complications players will always run into. So, for example, like, just in general, let's start off with the facts. It's a three-phase event. So it's a three-phase event. You have, for example, the first physical phase, not too hard, actually gives you some time to kind of ramp yourself up and everything. Then you have the AGL phase, which is relatively tough, I want to say. And then you have the final physical phase. Now, the final physical phase gives you issues quite substantially, because what it does is it locks your characters. And this can be something that's quite miserable for people to deal with. I think a lot of players don't like the idea of locking characters, as, like I've said before, the team then depends heavily on the ability of said units that are locked to tank in that position. So if you get a unit that gains all their defense on super, they get locked to the first slot, then all of a sudden you're just straight up not having a good time. I'm just straight up not having a good time right now. So essentially what that means is we're kind of screwed. So to circumvent this, you either have to make your entire team very defensively orientated, which is traditionally what I do, or what you have to do is you have to essentially like just completely circumnavigate with, like things like Gohan's interceptability, etc. Not to mention Beast Gohan, I think has an 80% chance to super the first slot as well. So he very clearly wants to take out the unit that's in the first slot. So you kind of have to place your unit there. And then on top of that as well, you now also have to essentially, like, how can I say? So you have to place your unit there, put them in harm's way, and then they also get stunned. So if that unit is a big time damage dealer, if that unit is like Beast Gohan, if they are a big time damage dealer, then essentially you do tend to run into some problems. So it can be very, very, very challenging, and very, very, very difficult. Now, all in all, for me, I think personally speaking, the artificial life forms team is obviously very clearly best taken on with the Boo team. Not only is it a very strong team, it's also the most recently updated team. So you have Tech Boo, that Easy A, which is great. You have Buhan, that Easy A, which is great. You have Kid Boo's S Easy A, which is great. And you also have the Strength Boo's Easy A. Strength Boo is a unit that I think a lot of people skirt over, because using him requires you to plan a little bit. He actually is relatively tanky, but he needs to have a fair chunk of strength orbs. Not only because the strength orbs give him his raw stats, but they also give him his additional attacks. They also give him extra damage reduction. The more orbs he picks up, the more damage reduction he has. And if you pick up enough orbs, he'll actually be relatively tanky. From the raw defense, the additional supers, and the damage reduction, he'll be able to handle what's needed. The thing is, you have to make sure that you give him those orbs. So if you're not giving him strength orbs, if you're not catering a little bit to him, even as a floater, like, remember that he's coming in the next turn, retain whatever strength orbs you can. If you do that, generally speaking, you come out quite fine. And the thing is that's not too hard. The rest of the Boo team, has I want to say, generator abilities to give themselves, like a really, really, good key, especially if you link level them a bit to get margin up to link 5, where you start getting that initial key from as well. So I do think that is necessary, to help out the team. And I think it helps out, strength Boo a lot. If you're not relying on the orbs to feed the other Boo units, then what tends to happen is now you can feed all your strength orbs to this Boo, and then things are looking a lot better. That's just my opinion. And I've used him, and I think he's really solid, and that's really all I can say. Now, all things considered, aside from that, obviously the rest of the team is pretty straightforward. Double int Boo, because that gives you a revive and 2 incredibly defensive secure units. Then you get, obviously, and 2 intercepts, which is very important. You'll see me use both against physical Gohan right now. So very, very, very important, the 2 intercepts. So you got 2 intercepts, a revive from the 2 int Boos, both incredibly good healers, defensive units, etc. I've really grown to love the Boo, having used him in difficult content like this. Then we have the physical Gohan, obviously incredibly good unit basically. Once he gets going, all the guard, the evasion, everything that he brings is really, really strong and incredibly helpful. And it's no surprise that it really, really helps out. So that's really good. Then, we also obviously have Tech Boo. I think one of the better World Tournament units. Incredibly useful overall. Like an incredibly good unit. Very, very helpful. Really solid. And just incredibly good to use defensively. And then obviously you have the Tech Transforming Boo. Really, really, really strong. What he does overall is great damage. So if you can get a couple rainbow orbs, he can dish out some pretty huge damage. So all in all, the Boo team is really strong. It's just getting it. I don't want to say getting it to here, because it's not even like getting it to here is too hard. The main thing you'll struggle with is the AGL phase. That's where you need to make sure that you're catering towards that strength Boo. And if you're unsure of the orbs that strength Boo can get, just use a Whis. Like even if you just use one Whis here and just use one Whis during the Beast Gohan phase to kind of set things up and get your intercepts going, or after your intercepts, it buys you enough time whereby you have, generally speaking, enough security to take on Gohan quite easily. At least overall. So yeah, I would say for me, really, really good stuff. Honestly, I'm very, very happy with how the whole team came together. Like I said, you can see, like if you see, I'm always leaving strength orbs. I'm always making sure that I leave whatever strength orbs I can. Trying to make sure that, Boo gets what he needs. It's always super important. And yeah, but the 2 Boos you need to balance. You need rainbow orbs to cater towards the Tech Boo. You need strength orbs to cater towards the strength Boo. If you can do that, if you can balance your orbs, then generally speaking, I find the team really doesn't come into too much trouble overall. So I think that's really, really good. And I think overall I was pretty happy with how all of that came together. And yeah, we got the revive, which again is one of those security mechanisms that we have as well. So for me, really, really, really good. Really good. Like I was very, very happy. So for me, not too much more really to say. I think we're about to wrap things up here as well. There are some other strong artificial life forms characters for sure. Maybe you can try something with like Android 21s. I don't know, but for me, yeah, this just felt like the easiest and best variation of the team to kind of roll with, and tended to produce the best results for me, at least. I can't really complain or say too much, overall, but yeah, definitely just was a really good run for me, and I think everything came through really nicely. And also obviously super clutch here by old Tech Boo. I think he would have survived with the damage reduction, but I think the evasion comes in clutch anyway. And we finish things off with the Tech Super Boo. So really awesome. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. So I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. And until then, as always, take care, stay safe. Thanks for watching. It's always greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, thank you so much. And as always, bye.